Now I want to talk about conic shapes. Let's go to Insert menu, go to Profile, go to Conic and select an ellipse. This is the simplest type of conic shape that you can have. And for this, I need to specify the center of ellipse. That's going to be here, for example. I want to have the major axis, and it can be inclined or it can be horizontal. It doesn't matter. I want it to be here. And now I need to specify the minor axis. So I click somewhere here. Now your ellipse is there. If it is not what you wish to have, you can just change the properties. Double click on ellipse. Now you can see the properties of this. I want the center to be, for example, in 40, 100. Yeah, it's gonna be minus 100 actually. So I type in here and I click on OK. You can see that my ellipse changes its position according to what I have entered. If I want to have major radius, for example, in 50 millimeter, I can type it like this. And if I want to select the minor axis, I can do this as well. And I have an angle that I can change it. And of course, I can add some constraints. You can see that by clicking on constraints and clicking on this, you have the major axis here, and it tells me as a diameter. I can have it double click and change the diameter to radius and see the major radius. And I can go and select this, go to constraint define and see what I can select here. You can see that I have semi-major axis, and that's exactly the radius that I have selected. And I can have semi-minor axis. I select this and you can see the same minor axis here. I click here, I double click on it. I want it to be in radius again, so you can see this like this. And if I double click on that, I can change it. For example, I want it to be exactly 100 and I make it 100. So whenever you draw something, you have the ability to change it by double clicking on it and changing the properties or selecting the relevant constraints. Okay, now I want to create a parabola and a hyperbola, and they are under conic shapes. And again, I will go and follow the status bars hints. So I click on parabola by focus. It tells me select the focus first. This is the first point, and it's gonna be focus. Now it tells me where's the apex of your parabola. It's gonna be, for example, here. Now start point is, for example, here, and end point is gonna be here. Now I have a parabola. I double click on that. If it is not what I wish, I can change it. You can see that the center can change, the apex points can change, and of course I have some polars here that tells me what is the radius, what is the angle, and what is the apex point. So I can change them. And again, I can go and select constraints and add some constraints. You can see that by selecting constraints, I have nothing to assign to this because it cannot understand anything. But whenever I go to constraint define, I can have, for example, a fix here, a horizontal or vertical, nothing more. So I need to go to properties to change it. Let me draw a hyperbola. Hyperbola needs another click, and let's go to conics and select hyperbola here. It tells me, first of all, click the focus. This is focus. Tells me select the center. Now I want it to be here. Now it tells me now click and select your apex. Now I click here. This is the apex. Start point is gonna be here. End point is gonna be here. Now you can see that I have this created. Now you can see this constraint. There's a coincidence constraint that can find it, and I don't want to have it, so I click on it and press delete. And the last tool under conic shapes is a simple conic. It tells me select the first point, select the point or click to locate the tangent. I can select something or select just a point. And now it tells me select the second point. This is my second point. And now it tells me select the line, create the line. Now you can see that I have a conic that is tangent to these two lines that I just created. And it has two limits. You can see that it has two limits, and in limits it turns to red. I want it to be like this. Now I can select these lines and move them and by moving them I can select and change the limits, and again I have two endpoints. I can move them as I wish. Again, I can double click on it and have the Conic curve definition dialog box here and change whatever I want. And that's it.